I'm Kathy Jentz, editor and publisher of Washington Gardener magazine. We're all about gardening in the mid-Atlantic area. And it's mid-fall now, so it's time to start bringing in some of our tropical summer plants and store them for the winter time so we can bring them out next spring. Some of them might winter over for us. Some of the Canna in a protected spot might do well, but why take the chance? Let's bring them and store them inside so we can ensure that we'll have them for next year. So last night we had a little bit of a frost, and you can see on my Canna leaves they got a bit of a touch of blackening. And also, one of my big elephant ears is not too happy about the cold. So at that point, I cut off all the green growth and shake off most of the dirt. And this is one of the Canna rhizomes. And I'm left with a rhizome with a little bit of dirt on it. And what I do is bring them inside, wrap them in a newspaper singly. Not too tight, kind of loose bunch, and then I put them in a paper bag. So I put them inside the bag. And the reason I do them each singly is because if one of them starts to rot in storage, the rest of them would get infected if they were all touching each other. So I like to keep them totally separate, sanitized from each other, and I like to check over the winter time on my stored bulbs. About once a month, every few weeks, you can just unwrap a few and see if there's any rotting or if they're too dried out. If they do get a little dry, you can add some moist soil mix, moist sand, give them a little spray, and they should be fine. So I've dug up some of my decorative sweet potato tubers. Those will also go in storage here. And I also wanted to show you what I pulled from my pond. I have two smaller size colocasias, fancy black leaved ones, and these are in pots, and I'll keep these over as houseplants inside. They just have to be kept well watered, and they'll do just fine as a houseplant as well. So if it's small enough, or if you have the space, you can also overwinter your tropical outdoor tubers, rhizomes, and plants as houseplants. Hope you learn. So one extra tip is to label your bulbs as you store them, because next spring you're not going to know at all what you have. So you can write on the paper bag itself, you can write on the newspaper that you've stored them in, or you can write on the rhizome itself. So these are some Canna red, so I'm just going to put C red with a Sharpie, and it doesn't harm the plant at all. And I know next spring when I pull these out, pot them up, or put them in the garden, exactly where I'll put them. Thank you for joining me.